Hi guys, you're listening to the Cask and Culture podcast with Lee Robson, aka Whiskey with Lee, and today I'm chatting with Joanne Kangley of Livianna Irish Whiskey.
Yeah, so tell me what you want to know. There's plenty going on in my world at the minute, so it's all very exciting.
Well, that's great to hear.
Yeah, we had yesterday. I did a good. I found a really good, nice crowd to do social media. So I'm all social media'd out yesterday, and now it's podcast day today.
I know. It's and like I completely get it because obviously I'm doing my Whiskey with Lee page and then I'm having to organise things behind the scene for the rest of the year for tastings. And then as I started doing this, I'm like, I actually I just don't want to sit in a dark room and don't speak to people. But
I know.
it's always great talking to people because you always get a wee bit of knowledge. It's nice to learn people's backgrounds and all. So it is.
I
It's
think, yeah,
fun.
I think that's the thing about whiskey, and it's that sense of community. You've got people from every walk of life who come together with a common bond.
Yeah,
And people who you might not come across, like, when you go to work every day, you come across certain people and the same people. Same with me, and you kind of have your own little world going on. But then when you go outside that world into the whiskey world, you're meeting different people, but they have the same, same things that they like to do in terms of, their lifestyle, etc. So I think that's really nice about the whiskey community.
yeah. It's as you say, you're all bonded over a common interest, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So first off, I just wanted to find out a wee bit about your background, your journey into whiskey.
Yeah. So essentially, I grew up in a small pub. Well, it wasn't that small, a pub in Bailieborough, County Cavan. So my grandmother owned the pub. Her name was Josephine Kangley. We lived upstairs. So downstairs was, as you walked in the front door, from what I remember as a child, as you walked in the front door, you had the paper shop. So in those days, you had the paper shop and you sold your tobacco and your magazines. And then later in life, I think we had a videos. We sold videos or rented videos, which was
Yeah,
like a big thing in those days. And then it evolved over time, depending on what was going on. So that was kind of like the front area, and then you walk through there to go into the lounge. And in the lounge, then it was like a long lounge. It was traditional, as in that in mahogany oak, mahogany type of finish on dark wood, basically, with stained glass windows. And then it was a long bar along the right hand side. And then down at the bottom, there was like a dance floor. So the dance floor was absolutely jammed. Thursday night was Kangley's night. It was very much where couples came. Like I'm not saying the older generation, but the couples came. They enjoyed their music. They enjoyed their drink. Never much hassle. I don't really remember. I remember one or two nights there was hassle, which you get in every bar, but I don't remember much. And then if you walked past that down out of the lounge, you had our home, which was, you walk down, there's a couple of steps, and that brought you into our kitchen. And looking back now at some of the pictures of what the kitchen looked like, it was very, like the paper on the walls had that like tactile feel. You had it was basic in those days, but it was basic to us now, but it wasn't basic in those days.
yeah,
So in order for me to go from my kitchen to my bedroom, you had to go back through the bar and upstairs. So you went through the bar to go back upstairs, and that's where we lived, upstairs. So we lived there with my grandmother Josephine, my dad and my mum. I've one sister, Tina. And that's really all we knew. Like, we didn't know any life other than that. So from we were 5 years of age, we were collecting glasses and cleaning out ashtrays, and sweeping
yeah.
floors. And that's how a family survived in those days. So essentially, my grandmother went to New York. She ended up staying, her sister Kathleen was in New York, and she ended up staying in New York. And then when she came home, she bought Kangley's, which was unusual in those days that a woman would, own and buy the pub. And then my grandfather came, he was a footballer, and he came and joined her in the bar and worked the bar with her. They had one son, Pat, who was my dad. Dad's a great character altogether. And that's the funny thing. I was actually talking to somebody yesterday. Kangley's is what it wouldn't be Kangley's without Dad in it. Like, Dad's a total character. You know, people came to see him, and
Yeah.
even though he was the character, Granny ruled the roost. You know,
Yeah.
she was a small little lady who was very formidable. Nobody messed around, and if she was there was definitely no hassle. So that's what I grew up with, and that's all we knew. So that came, we lived there until we were kind of, I was probably 7 or 8, I'd say, and then we moved out to the country a little bit, but we still always worked, like, you know, it was where you were all the time, and we worked there until I went to university. So I went to university quite young. I left home when I was 16, and I was quite young doing my leaving cert. And then I went to Dublin, lived in Dublin on my own. I did law, so I studied law in UCD, and I got a job when I qualified that, because in those days, you know, you have to get an apprenticeship and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So when I qualified, I went to work for past president of the Law Society, Elma Lynch. I worked for her in Dublin for a year, moved back home, closer to home, and I worked in Carrickmacross for another year. And then shortly after that, and in 2004, I set up my own business as a solicitor. And I think, looking back on it now, it's not that, you know, it wasn't in my head, oh, I have to have my own business. It was just bred into us. It's just who we were, you know. And even other times in life now, when I have gone to work for other people, and it's just not me, you know. And I can't change that. That's who I am. So studied law, qualified, had my own practice, had a practice in Baileyborough and in Dublin. Had a number of solicitors that worked for me, so we had a big enough firm. And then I got a serious incident with a prisoner, and basically I lost everything. And as a result of that, I sold off parts of my practice, and I moved to Spain with my eldest child at the time. Hannah wasn't born at that stage, so we moved to Spain. And really, whilst I was in Spain, I lived there. We lived in Spain for kind of 10 years, I think. We lived down south in Marbella, and that was me having to cope with a serious trauma in my life, having to cope with what people say about you, having to cope with what the media say about you, having to cope with people who want to believe certain things that, you know, they don't really know whether they're true or not. So I had to overcome all of that, which was a really, really difficult time in my life.
Sure.
Yeah, so, you know, and at that, you know, you don't have, because I had to move the kids for safety, you don't have family, like, you know what I mean? And I think that's the thing now, that you don't appreciate things till they're gone 100%. And I know people, it's very cliche and all of that, but when you don't have the daily support of your family, life is not really life, you know, it's not great.
You just
So
isolate.
anyway, yeah, we battled on anyway. Kids, thank God, I'm actually really, really, really lucky in life, considering all that happened to me. I don't look back on it and think, poor me, or how did that happen to me, or why did that happen to me? Even though I did lose everything, I lost my reputation, I lost a lot of money. And that, I think the reputation was the hardest part of it, because money comes and goes. But the main thing that I kept out of it is the protection I had for my children and my family. And really, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, we lived there for 10 years, kind of over and back, mainly there. And to be fair, we had a great life. You know what I mean? It's not that, you know, we didn't have a good life. We had a fantastic life. The kids grew up, you know, on the Costa del Sol in Marbella with, you know, everything that they could possibly imagine or want or need. And I think at that stage, you know, if anybody's gone through a trauma or an illness or anything significant in life that knocked them back, I call it, you put on the blinkers. So you have to let things go from your life in order to focus on what the important things is. And life becomes very narrow. All the stuff, the cars, all of that stuff, it's irrelevant, because if I got sick tomorrow, none of that's any good to me. So I think in terms of what that did to me, looking back, I think that it's made me very, very, very grateful for everything that I have. It's made me very grateful that I don't hold any resentment or grudge. Like there's not one element of me that has hate or, like ill will towards anybody or anything. And that's a very free place to be. So I feel very free, and so ultimately, fast forward, I got approached. So this is entering into whiskey world. I got approached by a gentleman who has a number of businesses in Ireland, and he asked me if I'd be interested in doing the whiskey. And that was for a different brand that he had been introduced to. So initially I was like, I don't think I have the headspace for it really, because obviously I'm dealing with a lot at the moment. And anyway, we got talking about it. Eventually I said, yeah. So I was 1/3 shareholder in that business. That was Baja Irish whiskey. And there was 2 other business partners there. And really I did that when I was in Spain. So that would, I suppose, be, even though I was brought up in the pub and I was brought up in the spirits industry, I wasn't brought up in the whiskey business.
Yeah.
So I worked with that brand for a while, and we built that brand really from nothing. And I think that's what I enjoyed about it, building a brand from nothing,
Yeah.
So my business partner did most in Ireland and dealt with the money side of things and dealt with production in Ireland. I flew over and back. We went into the distillery. So for that whiskey, we bought blended in Great Northern Distillery as well. We're dealing with the wonderful Mr. Brian Watts, Lord rest his soul. He was amazing to work with.
Yep.
Total gentleman. So we in and out there to the distillery trying to choose what we were going to do, and we basically had 2 SKUs. So we had the Founders Reserve one was finished in a sherry cask. I think that was 43%. And then we had the second one, which was called Tara, and it was 40%. And it was just, it was triple distilled blend, 3-year-old, 3-year one day. So there were the 2 SKUs we had. So what did I do in terms of the business? So because I was based in Spain, I had a lot of friends who have restaurants and bars and hotels and chiringuitos and stuff like that. So that was really what we did. And we got hit with COVID, which wasn't great.
Yeah.
Couldn't move product. I think we were really lucky. We were doing an event and we just about got product over, and everything went into lockdown shortly after that. But because we weren't properly set up in terms of infrastructure, we hadn't, we weren't really off the ground at all. It was hard to move product.
Yeah.
So I did that for a couple of years, and that we were over and back to America with that particular brand. Business partner had a lot of connection over there, mainly in Philadelphia, and we tipped along with that for a while. And when I got, then 4 years ago, we came home for a holiday to Ireland during the kids had their summer holidays from school, and my mum wasn't well. So we decided to stay, and now thank God she's great, thank God. And yeah, so that's all that matters in the end of the day.
Exactly.
So we came home, girls were happy enough to move home, and we stayed, and I sold back my interest. So I had a 1/3 interest in that business. So I sold that back to the other 2 shareholders in that business and exited that business. And then actually at the time, I had no intention of doing anything else. I had no intention of doing another whiskey. It wasn't even on the radar. And I got a call then about a year later from somebody who I'd met in America, who's one of Peter Pace, actually, who is one of the leading people in the industry. So Peter has been involved in Grey Goose, Malfi Gin, Absolute, I think at some stage. And I was talking to him about it, and we just kept in contact, and he kind of encouraged me to go ahead and do my own.
Great.
That was the start of Livianna.
It's great.
Yeah.
So just as you said there, Livianna, where's the name come from?
So that is my 2 children, Olivia and Hannah. Livianna. Yeah. So
That's lovely.
Olivia's always called Livy. We all call her Livy. And then Anna so Hannah in Spanish, they don't pronounce the H.
Yeah.
So she gets called Anna quite a lot in Spain. So it was Livianna, and initially I was thinking, do I call something after the pub? But it'll be hard for people to pronounce. Kangley is not the easiest word. I think I have to spell it at least once a month for somebody.
I
So
don't think it's that bad. So
yeah,
the whiskey name, Kangley's Pub,
yeah,
is it still there?
it's still there, but Dad sold it. He didn't think we'd have much interest in it, and I think he just he got to the stage where he wanted to wind down a little. So Dad sold it, I think about 10 years ago. A client of mine bought it, actually, a nice guy, and they rented it out for a while, but it never really was as successful. Kind of Kangley's his dad at the end of the day, and
Yeah.
they kept the name all right. But it just didn't really work, and then it closed down. I think before COVID it closed down, and I believe that it was sold to a gentleman who I'm trying to contact to see if I could get it back, to be honest.
Okay. Well,
It'd be a great part of the story.
yeah, that would be great. Especially like obviously I know I just go off and tangents, but even if you were to get back and you would do exclusive whiskey just for Kangley's.
I'd love to do out the back of it. It's a really long premises, as I was saying, like the lounge was long, and then there's a big yard out the back, and out the back you could do, like, you could put a small distillery there. There would be enough space. So it'd be lovely to have, you go into a nice bar and you see like they have stills, or, they're making their own beer or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that would be really cool.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. But look, it's not something I'm going to like stress about. If it happens, it happens. And if it happens, it's for the right reasons.
Well, if you need a hand, give me a shout.
I will. If you have to open it, cut the ribbon.
I don't know much, but I'm always a helping hand.
Good stuff. Yeah, good to know.
So Livianna, children's name.
Mm-hmm.
What style of whiskey is it? Is it blended whiskey?
Yeah, it's a blend. It's a blend of grain and malt. It's a bit higher of a malt percentage in it, and we purposely did that. I think it gives it it's smoother flavor. So we're at 25% malt. So it's a high malt blend. It's a 3-year blend, triple distilled, and it's finished in a rum, an Appleton rum cask. So it's finished for at least 6 months to a year. And yourself, when the whiskey's ready. So depending on how it is. And we were quite careful about that, even though we're in with Great Northern Distillery, but they're very good to work with in that they do listen to your requirements. And Stephen is my bottler. So Stephen from Old Carrick Mill Distillery.
Okay.
Stephen Murphy. And Stephen's great to work with because he's helped me pull it all together.
Yeah, he's well, probably wouldn't be a kick and horse away from you.
No, he's only Carrick Macross, so he's only half an hour, not even.
Yeah. Not bad. And what percentage is it?
It's 40%.
40%.
It's quite light. When we were at the Whiskey Live, it's funny, different people obviously have different tastes and they like different things. So a lot of the industry experts who were there, they were surprised it was only was 40%, and they were surprised it was a 3-year.
That's good feedback.
Yeah, it was really good. I think I was dreading the serious whiskey drinkers. Because you know what I mean, they're so knowledgeable and they've so much to give, and they've got so much information, far more than I have, and but they were all so kind, they were all really nice, and I got really good feedback from them.
Yeah, well, I think one of the main things for people is obviously transparency.
Yeah.
Because there's no point having, say, opening a distillery or a brand 2 years ago and bringing out 20-year whiskey and going, this is not, doesn't make sense.
No,
as long as you try and be authentic and transparent, everyone gets a shot.
Yeah, exactly. And there's opportunity now where there wasn't opportunity before. I think.
Yeah.
And there's no reason why you like here's the way. Like I don't come from, yes, I come from the pub game. Yes, I've a bit of industry knowledge or a little bit of experience from the previous brand. But I don't by any way, it's fresh of the imagination, call myself an expert on any level. So like I really I look up to the people, I admire the people who have such knowledge. But that doesn't mean I can't do it. And it doesn't mean other people
Of
can't do
course.
it.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, I'm bluffing my way.
Fake it till I make it, huh?
Well, listen, throw around some big words and people get confused.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Lee. It doesn't need to be complicated either. I
No,
think
it
that
doesn't.
with like there's so many people, right? There's this category of people who are really serious whiskey drinkers and have absolutely amazing knowledge and like amazing. There's people who are afraid of whiskey. And we did cocktails yesterday. So I had a social media day yesterday. I found a lovely crowd to do social media for me because it's really not my bag of tricks. And we had a guy doing a mixologist who did just 2 cocktails for me, with Livianna, obviously, and they were really, really nice, and they were mild enough. And there's a few people there, and I said, "Do you want to taste it?" And they were like, "Oh no, I don't drink whiskey, or I don't like whiskey." And I said, "Just try it and see what you think." So when they taste, they're like, "Oh, that's really nice. I think I would order one of them." So I think there's some people who are afraid of whiskey because they think it's complicated. They don't know what to order. They don't know
Yeah.
what the right thing to say is, and it is, some whiskies can be quite harsh.
Yeah.
So I think that there is a section of people who we can lean into, who, if they knew it doesn't have to be complicated, it's easy. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be sophisticated. You can just have a nice whiskey. So I do think that there's a category that whiskey's leaning into now, whether it's with me and my product or other brands that are out there, like with all the RTDs, for example. So all the RTDs are leaning into that as well. And I do think that there's a whole segment there that's probably untapped for whiskey brands.
Yeah. No, definitely. I do. And as you say, like whiskey needs to be easy and accessible to everyone. And
Yeah.
it's very much, and I say this all the time, is like people would joke with me and go, "Oh, suppose you're a bit snobbish and you don't mix this or you no, drink it how you want to drink it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simple. There's
Yeah.
no
Like
point
I
drinking
think,
something that you're not going to enjoy. Just
yeah,
drink it
exactly.
whatever
Like
you want.
when we had Baja, we were over in the States. It's funny because when we were going to give tastings to um, different people taste different things.
Yeah.
So because what I might not like it, that's just my taste. Like loads of other people will love it and won't like what I like. So I do think there's an untapped market there, even though whiskey is, so dominant and it's there, it's not going anywhere. But I think there is an untapped market.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
There's open space there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully we'll flood it with Liviana now and we'll be happy enough.
Oh, well, this is it. Um, and on that, where can we get Liviana?
So I've been focusing on infrastructure really in terms of the strategy, obviously, and the infrastructure. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. So obviously, pulling the whole bottle together, the package and all of that together, and then getting your license in order, having everything right from a production point of view. So we are online on our own website. So from liviana.ie, you can buy online and have delivered to your door. So Irish whiskey auctions, they're brilliant to work with, and they fulfill our orders. So I can send anywhere really. I can send to America. I can send, to any country really, and they've been really good to work with. So yeah, online, and then in terms of what wholesalers I have, so MCM Spirits have me.
Okay.
And Connaty's, which is more local to here. So they're more Dublin and Navan. So Connaty's have me here. And I just had a conversation with Monaghan Bottlers yesterday. So hopefully next time I'm talking to you, Monaghan Bottlers will have it.
Very great. And is there any other websites, Celtic Whiskey Shop?
Celtic have me, yeah. So Celtic Whiskey Show, they were one of the first people to take me, actually. Ali was very good. So they have us. I've been focusing on, as I say, the kind of big conversations. I have two guys who are selling for me at the moment, and they're out, kind of knocking doors and shoe leather into bars, clubs, nightclubs. So in terms of Dublin, we have the Westbury are taking us, Shelburne have us, and the Fitzwilliam are taking us, and they're going to hopefully, I think the Westbury are putting us on their cocktail menu. Yamamori are taking us. So we're kind of focusing on them, and I've a couple of conversations with hotel groups going on at the moment. I won't say names until I get them sorted. Some off licenses now are my next thing. So we are only getting off the ground. I know that this takes time.
Yeah.
I know that it has to grow organically. It's a long game. It's not a quick fix. There's no quick magic spell where I can, have it appear on shelves. And the next thing then would be supermarkets. So I have a couple of introductions into the supermarket scene in the Republic, which over the next couple of months I'll get around to. In terms of the UK, I'm just having those conversations now. So I have a couple of people up the north, and I have a few people over in the UK. I was in Scotland there a couple of months ago, so I've had conversations over there. So I just wanted to get Ireland set up first, because it's only me. You know what I mean? I don't have a team of 20 people. So if I get Ireland kind of half settled, then I'll move on to the UK.
Okay, great. Just as long as I can direct people to a online retailer.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Every bottle's important to me. Like I'm not going to wake up tomorrow with 200 cases sold, and it's just not going to happen. But I do think that it's put the proper foundations in place for the long-term goals, and that's what I'm focusing on. So the way I look at it is, I'm not here to make a quick buck selling whiskey, because I don't think that it really exists. It's big money in, and you have to let it work, and then you can get your money out, in the future or whatever. But this for me is a legacy for my kids. And for my, God really is coming down from the generations before me, and I want to pass it on to the next generation. So it's not a quick buck. Anybody who goes into this game thinking, oh, I'm going to make a fortune, doesn't happen like that.
I know. There's no quick money.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Have to have a thick skin too.
Well, this is it too. I think that's where most of the whiskey things are. You have to be thick-skinned and maybe not take everything so personal.
Yeah, we've had conversation with people who said no. One company said no, they didn't want anything out of Great Northern Distillery, which I was absolutely shocked with.
Yeah.
And I kind of walked out of there going, what just happened? That's okay. And then some people don't like that it's a 3-year blend. Some people don't like the style of the bottle. And that's okay. I think it's just different. I think it just adds a bit something different, I think
it's like eye-catching.
Yeah, so a lot went into that in terms of the lid is quite, it's a heavy lid. You have your logo there. So it's the L shape, and the L sweeps under the internal logo, and that's like the protection, so the motherly protection for me and my children. The tagline then is heart, resilience and resolve, which is, believe me, all my heart has gone into it. Believe me, I'm resilient after everything I've been through, and it's resolve as to where we arrive at in life. The bottle itself, so I went to Stranger & Stranger, who designed the label and came up with some suggestions in terms of the bottle. And the reason I went to them was, I'm right, maybe whether I was right or I was wrong, some people don't like that I went to outside of Ireland to get the label done. But I just wanted something different that wasn't traditional Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
Because I find that when you're talking to people who are in that world of Irish whiskey, they don't look at it from outside the box, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And you have to bring your own niche to it. There's no point there's no point.
doing something what everybody else does.
Yeah, well, blended into the crowd.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, exactly. And I think it's nice. I like the metallic green on the bottle. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. The label, as you can see there, the label has, it's hard to probably see it with the shine there and the lights in the background. So
Is that a bit of a
essentially,
map?
it's basically an oatmeal. It's like a stone that is cracked.
Yeah.
And we have the cracked stone, which signifies things that happen to us in life and things that set us back. But when we fill them with gold, it makes us stronger and better than we were before.
So is this a wee bit like the Chinese?
Kintsugi, I think they call it. It's the Japanese. There was a traditional old Irish way they did it with pottery as well, where they fixed it. It wasn't with gold though. So that was the idea, is that, you know, I warts and all, scars and all, here I am. I don't mind what, if I can do it, other people can do it. So considering what I've gone through, what's happened in my life, people will judge us by how we come back from stuff, and they will judge us by what we move forward with, rather than looking in the past. I don't really look in the past at all. I'm always looking to the future. And that's the whole idea behind it. You know, everybody has something that happened in life, and it's all relative. What's happened to somebody else, I might think is a nothing, and they might think it's a nothing what happened in my life, but it's relative and it mattered to me. So really, if you know, we'll all look at our own lives and what's happened. Everybody has had something happen, whether it's an illness, whether it's an accident, whether it's somebody they loved that died, whether it's a traumatic event. And that means we have to get back up and we have to move forward. I don't make it, it's not a choice. You know, you don't have a choice to sit back and think, and for me, it's move forward and be the best that you can be.
And I think especially what you're saying there is very true, especially when you have children.
When you have children, it's just like, you know, you think when you're going to have children, nothing's going to change in your life, but my God, does it change, do you know?
Yeah.
And it's really amazing the changes that what they bring to your life. And I'm just blessed. Like, I mean, my girls are great, you know, 15 and 10 now. They're very independent girls. Like, I've been a single mom for most of my time with the girls, and they've, you know, they're grown up to be independent, and that's kind of what I want for them. Like, I mean, Olivia, who's my eldest, this is really her. She wants to be a chef now when she grows up, which is great. I'm delighted for her that she's made that decision. And, you know, she's already thinking of, oh yeah, we'll have a Livianna restaurant, mommy, and we'll have all these things. And, you know, like, it's a goal that she has set for herself that she's going to achieve. And that's really what you want for your kids.
Yeah, that's lovely. Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking down as if he's here. I have a wee 2.5-year-old, and when I say we, like, I'm 6'3", and he is 3.5 feet at 2.5. Like, he's
Oh my
a big
God.
boy.
Yeah.
He's big, but I know what you mean, because, like, I think in the past, when I maybe went through stuff, I could have just let it swallow me.
Get in on you.
But you can't do that when you've a child or
Can't when you've
children.
kids,
You know,
because
you have to get up and go, because there's someone more important than yourself.
yeah, and that's the thing. If you can't do something for yourself, and I say this to people all the time, sometimes you might feel, I'm not strong enough to do that for me. But if you say to yourself, well, it's actually not for me, it's for the kids, I'm doing it. Believe me, you will find that fight, you will find the fire, you'll find whatever it is you need to find to do it for your kids. So that's the thing about them. You know, sometimes you can't do other things. Like, I mean, I'm restricted in the hours of work I can do. I don't like being away from the girls at all. You know, I try to be at home here when they're home from school and things like that. So it does limit the amount you can do in a day. But I'm only doing it for them anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and this is it. You're always thinking of someone else, because you're always thinking this is for them. Like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
If this was to take off as a podcast, doubt it. But
we're going to stop you there now. Right. So it's positive day today, positive Fridays, Friday vibes, positive. This is absolutely going to take off.
Okay.
So you've already made it. That's what you have to say in your head. You've already made it. So it's already taken off. Thank you, Lord. Let's plow on.
But as I say, if or when it does, at least I'll be able to like do it around the hours that I have a
Yeah,
son, do you
yeah.
know,
And
and
I
I
think
would
that's
be
one of the things I wanted for the kids. I would like to get to a position where we're traveling with this,
yeah,
so the kids are with me, like, Olivia's teenager. So, I know Hannah's still she's young, but she's going into sixth class. But the fact that we can just travel together and it's integrated into our lifestyle, it's not holding us back from having a nice life. It's helping us have that nice life.
yeah, and taking new places with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be nice. And
Mm.
as you said there, obviously I know you're working within Ireland and then the UK, but being out in Spain, you have some connections that you can
I
use.
do. The Spanish market is a funny one, though, Lee. In Spain, obviously, you've got warm weather most of the time, not always. The winters can be miserable, really, to be honest, because every place closes down. So where we lived, we were very much in a tourist area. Um, in the winter, a lot of places close down because there's not
Yeah,
enough footfall for them to keep open, and they need to have their holidays too, because in the summer it's like full on. They're working around the clock. So yeah, I have a lot of connection there, but it was a hard market to break into because whiskey is not what people drink when it's very hot.
yeah. Well, this is it.
They drink gin, they drink wine, they're drinking champagne, and they're drinking, prosecco or whatever, and they're drinking vodka. Really, are the drinks out there, mainly wine. I had a couple of places that were really good though. There's a place called La Sala in Porto Banús. They put us on their menu. That's kind of what we're trying to get onto the menu, onto the cocktail menu and stuff like that. So they were quite good to deal with. I haven't been back out with this. I had a conversation with, I think it's Birdie Wines. They have a lot going on in Spain. They're a wine company, but they have all the connections. But again, Ireland first, UK second. Then I can go out probably Germany and Poland after that. I
Yeah,
was out in Malta. I have a few connections in Malta. They really liked it. And then we'll see where we go from there.
good, good, and definitely as you say with Spain, um, if you can get on to like a cocktail menu or something,
Yeah, you
something
have to.
essentially with a mixer,
Yeah, yeah,
because
you have to. Yeah.
it's I and we're having a bit of a heat wave here,
It's lovely,
and
isn't
it's like
it?
like I was doing a podcast the other night, and both me and Fanon, who was on talking with, we were both sitting here sweating, almost struggling through our whiskey
Yeah, yeah. There you go. If you're in
because
Spain, you wouldn't be drinking as much of it, I don't think.
the heat was just killing us.
Because it
And
is warm. It's a warm when you do drink it, it does have heat in it.
Yeah,
So it's not what people want when they're sitting on the beach. They're trying to cool down.
yeah, but whiskey's for any time, so
Yeah,
you have to ply on.
exactly. Suffer through it, huh?
Yeah, well, this is it. Um, so just a few almost stupid questions.
Yeah, go on ahead.
Um, if you had a whiskey to
Mm.
recommend to anyone, what would it be?
Well, again, not everybody likes what I like. So I do like Redbreast 12.
Uh,
Stephen has a very nice whiskey over there. It's Rogue, I think he calls it Rogue Reserve.
yes, I've
Uh,
tried
it,
it.
it's a very nice whiskey.
Yep.
So I think I like that one. I probably like the more fruit. I do like Two Stacks. They have a nice one. Pillars of Creation, I think it's called. I like that one.
Oh,
Do you like that
absolutely
one?
beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
I was, I sorry, I'm just taking away note here. Um, but it seems like every time I go to write something, I can't remember how to write. Yes, Two Stacks. Oh, I absolutely love Two Stacks.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely
And they've
love Two
made, and
Stacks.
even their packaging is fab. I love their branding as well, is really good. It's different as well. Yeah, they would be my main three, I think. And of course, Liviana's top of the list.
Well, this is what I was going to say. You've forgotten your own there.
Definitely not. It's ingrained in me at this stage. I do like the lighter, sweeter ones. Stephen's one is like, it's that wee bit heavier, but I like the lighter, sweeter. I don't drink as much as I used to. Like, I mean, I partied my way through college probably. Um, Not in a bad way or anything like that. So I
Yeah.
worked in bars in Dublin when I was in university. I actually worked in, Slattery's on Capel Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I worked in Slattery's. Donald Keogan from Cavan, he owns it, or owned it at the time. So I worked there, but so I don't really drink as much as I used to. So it's kind of more special occasions, and probably because I'm so busy, I have the day job and I have whiskey. So, I find when I want to relax, that's when I'll have a drink. Whereas if I have a drink, it's like work's finished. Like there's not a chance
Yeah.
I'm going to be productive on any level.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I am there with you. I look. I certainly don't drink. I think these last few weeks I've drank more because I've been doing podcasts and sitting at
Talking
night
about it
having a
and
drink with
sipping.
people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But usually I don't. Like, usually I think it's more of an effort because I do have a big cabinet there. Is I just look at it and then go, I don't know what I want, so I just don't bother.
Yeah, yeah. Too much choice now.
We'll see. This is it. First
Yeah,
world problems here. Too much
I
choice.
know. Yeah. Look how
No,
lucky we are in life. That's how you know you've made it.
I know. And oh flip! I had something in my head there and I just forgot it. Anyways, if you had a bucket list whiskey to try, what would it be?
Bucket list. I kind of don't really have a. I know that's I don't really have a bucket list. When I was at the Whiskey Live, I was hoping to get around some of the stalls that were there, and I didn't. A couple of the lads that came to our setup. This is the booth that I had for the Whiskey Live. I've installed it in my house now. It's like the equivalent to a man cave.
That's
um,
just right.
yeah, it's great. And there was a couple of, so O'Connell's were beside me, and they had some fabulous whiskies. Ryan's were there, and I was trying to get to other people, but I just didn't. I'd like to try some of the newer whiskies that are out at the minute. And yeah, I actually don't. I'm sorry that's probably not a great answer, but I don't really have a bucket list. I'm more more the fruitier side of whiskies. I don't like peated whiskies. Don't like Scotch
Yeah,
really.
see, I am just sort of working my way in there.
Oh yeah.
I've a very sweet tooth,
Yeah,
so
me too, yeah.
like mainly all are also sherry finish, but
Mm.
like sherry finish whiskeys is where I'm at.
Yeah, so
But
the previous whiskey brand we had one finished in a sherry cask, and I liked that. That was the Founder's Reserve one that we had. So yeah, I did like that. There were young whiskies though. That was 4 years. They didn't have an age statement.
yeah, so you were saying there about getting around obviously Whiskey Live, and obviously I was there too, and I didn't get a chance to taste it. I actually we done a we done a master class in the middle of our session, and this is the first time I've done that,
Yeah,
and it's completely broke up the session. And
yeah.
as much as I loved the master class, it was the WD O'Connell one. It was absolutely brilliant, but it broke up a session, so I didn't get to many.
Yeah, they were beside me. So there was theirs I tasted like do you know what? That's another thing. Everybody was so nice. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm
Oh, yeah.
totally a newbie at this. Like, I mean, that's the first time we did an event. So everybody, like people, other stands were sending people to my stand, which I like didn't expect at all. So
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
was
No,
really cool.
that's one thing as like from being in and around whiskey, people are competitors but not enemies.
No, they get on like,
Yeah,
yeah,
because we're all in for a common goal is to lift Irish whiskey.
that's it. Put it on
Simple,
the map, keep it on the
you
map,
know,
spread it
exactly.
further. Yeah.
Um, so will there be any other festivals or events
I
you'll
was
be doing
talking
over
to
the
you
summer?
previously about doing the Belfast one, but I haven't made moves to do it just because I'm just with other commitments at the minute. But I'm gonna I really, really enjoyed doing Whiskey Live. And I think I enjoyed the 4 sessions. So, we had industry experts, we had people in the trade, we had the general public, and we had like bar staff say. And it was funny, the when I said to you at the beginning about different people taste different things, you know, some people were fairly well on by the time that's the Whiskey Lives last. Some people were fairly well on by the time they got to me, you know, and I think one person says, that's a lovely peaty whiskey. Like, it's not. I just they're well on, so we're like, oh, thanks very much, you know. But you know, there's no peat in it. I didn't want to be rude, but I really enjoyed doing that. It actually reminded me of being back behind the bar, to be honest. And a couple of lads, local lads, were over, and they started chatting away, and they kind of forgot that they were at an event. They thought they were back home in the bar, so that was a bit fun. But yeah, I will do more. I think it was well worth doing for the brand, getting the brand out there and meeting new people and networking.
Yeah, well, that's great.
Yeah.
And if you ever need a hand with anything up this side of the world, just give me a
Yeah,
shout.
I will take you up on that, Lee.
Because I have worked for a brand before.
Okay.
Because actually worked Whiskey Live last year.
Good man.
For a brand up the, I'll say up the Glens of Antrim.
Right. Okay.
So up that direction.
Yeah.
But not the massive brand.
Right. Okay.
But yes, so if you ever need a hand, just give me a shout.
Yeah, I've taken every up in it because, as I say, I have no big team behind me. I have no big money behind me, so it's just me pushing my way up, pushing the doors open, and rather than opening the doors, you know. So yeah, all help is greatly appreciated. I've a great guy, Joanne, that works with me, and Cuba does sales as well, and they enjoy it, and they're very good people. You know, they love people, and they're well able to talk. So they're quite good, but all bit of help is much appreciated.
No problem. So what would your drink of choice be? Would it be whiskey?
I generally drink a little bit of wine. I don't really drink shorts anymore other than whiskey. I'll have a little bit of whiskey, and I do like a nice whiskey cocktail. So yesterday we made two really lovely whiskies, one with strawberries in it and one there was a bit of Bailey's in it. It was very unusual, but very nice, very drinkable. So I would have a whiskey. I wouldn't drink it all the time, but I do enjoy it if we were celebrating something, I would.
Yeah. And would you ever be into having a pint?
I've never drank. I think I drank Guinness with a little bit of blackcurrant when I was pregnant.
Oh.
You know, I'm just being honest with you here.
Well, I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah. So other than that, I don't. I think it's funny when you grow up with it. Like my sister doesn't drink at all.
Yeah.
We grew up in the pub, like, and you know, Granny, she'd have a whiskey or she'd have a gin, and you'd say to her, Granny, will you have another one? And her answer was always the same: a bird never flew on one wing. So she'd always have the second one. And it was I think she lived till she was 96. She used to smoke cigars.
Good woman. I've a wee humidor in my cabinet.
Yes, so she'd smoke cigars and 2 drinks every night, and then she was a happy lady.
Fair play there.
So I said to everybody, I'm selling longevity. You know, you have to drink 2 of these every night, and you have a cigar, and I'm selling longevity in a bottle.
Well, this is it. This is, you can place it under the health kick section.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's great, because just as you're saying there about your granny saying, my mum always would say, I don't know where the sayings ever come from. It would be either, obviously you always know one for the road, but she would give us a wee shoemaker.
Shoemaker, right? I never heard that one before.
And I don't know if it's a northern thing, but I've always went, where the fuck did shoemaker come from? Come on, give us a shoemaker, and that'll do us.
Never. I might use that one.
I think I'm gonna have to, after this, look up to see where that.
Yeah, do, because it's interesting. I think people will. I haven't heard that one now. I've heard a few people. I've said bird never flew on one wing, and they said, "Oh, my grandmother used to say that as well." So it's obviously something that they said in those days. But they stopped, obviously, when smoking stopped. was banned inside, they stopped smoking. And I remember we were like, there was a lot of smoke, as you can imagine the amount of smoke in those days. So there's a lot of smoke in the bar. But yeah, so she'd have the cigar, and that was her evening.
Oh, fair play. It's a lovely nighttime routine.
Yeah.
No, one of my last questions was gonna be whether you would choose a Beamish, a Guinness, or a Murphy's if you're not a pint
I'm
drinker.
not a pint drinker at all, but it'd probably be a Guinness.
Okay.
Yeah. And it probably because I suppose it's more, it's not, I know it's more recognizable, I suppose, in terms of Guinness, but when somebody would have come into the pub, they would have always asked for, we would have only had Guinness at, in the early days, like we wouldn't have had Beamish or Murphy's, but it'd always be Gartla if there's a half one there and a bottle of stout, and that
Yeah.
was the thing about it. It was like, there was no such thing as, can I have, what whiskies do you have? It was like a half one. And it was just easy. Like, there was no question about it. There was no age statement. It was just a whiskey. Give us a half one of whiskey and a bottle of stout or a glass of stout.
And can you remember what whiskies you had in the bar, or what whiskey?
It wouldn't have been anything expensive. So it was mainly Crested. So Jameson and Crested and Bush.
$3 whiskies.
Yeah, that's like, you think about it. We're in a country agricultural town. The farmer came. It's funny, the farmer came to town with on the tractor. The wife was on the tractor with him. The transport box in the back. He'd come in. The two of them would come into the pub, into the lounge. She'd go off and do her shopping, put it on the transport box, and come in. And she would have like maybe a sherry or, like something like that, a baby sham or something like that. And he'd be drinking, a bottle of stout and a Crested. And they'd have their few little drinks and away off home. They'd go happy, very contented, very together, no accidents, no madness. And then they would come in, they'd be the same people that would come in on a Thursday night, that have their best outfits on them, and they'd take to the dance floor.
Lovely.
Yeah. Really good memories, like really amazing memories.
No, it sounds like a nice warm.
Yeah, but that's what makes me feel warm. Like, it makes me feel how lucky I am. I didn't appreciate it at the time, but I didn't know any different.
Yeah.
It's not that I, didn't acknowledge how lucky we were and stuff, but again, looking back on, as a parent, protecting my kids now and keeping them on the right road, what did my parents do in that day? Well, you were there working with them, so you were never really anywhere other than there, and you had the same characters at the bar who, if you needed a keg changed, they'd go and change it for you and give them a pint for changing the keg, and they were always keeping an eye out for you, so nothing was likely to happen. Everybody knew everybody.
Yeah, and as you say, you had to go through from the kitchen through the bar up to bed.
Yeah.
And these people were probably all sitting around making sure you were going where you should be.
100%. Yeah.
That's a nice sense of community and
total sense of community. Yeah, total sense of community, and everybody. There was no badness to anybody. Like, it was very much family orientated. Like, even if there was a family in, the kids would sit down. In those days, we'd Cav and Cola, the famous Cav and Cola. And a packet of Tato, and that was such a treat for kids in those days. Like, to be able to have a packet of crisps and Cav and Cola was amazing. So it was all very family orientated, and sure, we'd love it if there was other kids there, because we'd have somebody to play with as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really good times.
And have you tasted the Tato up north?
I haven't. No, I heard it's different though.
It is.
Yeah.
It's different packet, different flavor.
Right.
Different Mr. Tato on it.
Oh, I know. I've seen somebody with candy floss taped out or something like that lately, and like, what is happening here?
I know. I seen that. I think it was on a video, and I was going, "What the fuck 'Cause,
Yeah, what is that going on? Like, I mean, I know you're trying to enter into new markets, but like candy floss flavor, no, I don't think that works.
no, I don't think like Tito is known for the cheese taste.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know. Cheese and candy floss. No, definitely not for
No,
me.
definitely not
And I
for
don't
me.
even think the Irish abroad, like, I know when I was abroad, we had a little shop beside us and you could get a lot of Irish and English products. So it was like at the weekend, the girls always wanted something, so we'd head up and we'd get those. And when I'm in America or I have friends out in America, like every time you go out, they want you to bring out tea or they want you to bring out crisps or something. So it is such a treat to get like the traditional stuff when you
Yeah,
really can't get it normally.
yeah, definitely because I grew up early years in America
All right.
and out in Michigan. So every time my granny and my granddad were coming over, my granny, like I used to love Milky Bars and Round Trees fruit gums.
Right.
So she used to have like a case full
Oh my
and
God.
bring them out there
So all
for
your
our
Christmases came at once with that, did it?
so it would
Yeah.
be all the sweets for
Yeah.
almost like like about 6 months she would bring out
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we always wanted stuff from back home.
And how long were you there for? When did you move back? When did you move to the north then?
I moved, so I lived here until I was 2 and then moved out to America and then around 10ish we moved back here and then we were sort of back and forth for
Hmm.
a year or two.
Right. Okay. And do you miss it?
Uh,
You do, yeah, yeah.
I
But I'm sure
like
there's lots here as well. Obviously, again, when you have kids, you just can't be as mobile as you
yeah,
were once. But I think for us anyway, for the girls, Olivia's decided she wants to go to university in Madrid. There's some cookery school she wants to go there but they're both fluent in Spanish and they've kept their Spanish up. So that's great. So she'll probably be, and she's only 2 years left now in secondary school, so that'll be her gone. Hannah's only 10, so we've got secondary school to get through, but her dad lives in Spain. So I literally collected her this morning from the airport. David flew in with her this morning. So she's been with him now for 3 weeks. So they have the best of both worlds, really.
yeah. No, so that's great. No, I definitely, yeah, I would say I definitely I miss elements of it because obviously it's different when you're 20 years on, you're grown. But Michigan as a place where we lived, we
Mm,
loved it. It was a very nice place, and I would say in some aspects, America is very much more family oriented.
mm.
Obviously, I know just like anywhere, there's a lot of trouble, but
Yeah,
it
I think
is like
America's changing.
yeah, I think so, and that's
Yeah.
why I would never say now. Oh yes, I would go back because it's a different place to where I grew up.
Yeah.
Do you know?
When I was over and back there a good few years ago, well, I was over when we were choosing the whiskey, I flew in with the three final. So we blind tasted the whiskey with a good few people, a couple of different sessions. And we chose this particular one. I narrowed it down to three particular whiskies. One was this one, another one was a single malt, and the other had an age statement. It was a 15-year-old, and I brought three of them to New York to the people I have in New York, and then we eventually picked that one. That was the final one that we picked. But I just found in New York, so flew over on my own, and you're meeting people. It's just there's not the sense of you don't really feel safe once it's dark walking anywhere. I was followed back to the hotel actually at one point midday. Some guy was following me back, and the doorman had to tell them to leave me alone, like walking into the hotel. And it was just like a bit surreal, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I think I was over and back to America as a kid, like with my family and stuff, but it's just changing.
yeah, definitely. Not what it used to be.
No, but look, I think every place is changing. It's
Yeah,
changing
well, this
here
is it.
too.
It's a new word.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Um, but just as you're saying, I mentioned Madrid there. My best mate, his wee brother, he's like my wee brother. Um, he's actually just moved out to Madrid. he moved out there in May, so he was
Okay.
back for my best mate James, his wedding there,
Oh,
and
lovely.
yeah, so he's out in Madrid. He seems to be loving it because he's
Madrid is, yeah, they speak the proper Spanish in Madrid. Like down in Andalusia where we live, they kind of cut off the end of a word, like so they say kind of it's not like slang, but they don't pronounce everything as good as they do in Madrid. The funny thing is though, at this time of the year, it will be like an oven in Madrid. It's
yeah
the hottest part of Spain in the summer, like you're talking over 40 degrees.
yeah. He has said hot, and just when we were talking about whiskey earlier in Spain, is he's already signed me up to come over and do a tasting for people.
Good.
He's like, oh, I've got like a couple guys I'm friendly with. We have a wee friends group, and a couple of them are really interested in Irish whiskey. So I've always said I'll get you across, and you can bring a couple bottles and do a tasting.
Lovely. And you see, because it's not like we were talking earlier about in Spain, it's a hot country, so it's not really the thing that people drink. But that doesn't mean that a lot of people don't drink it. It just means
Yeah,
that during the hot summers, it's not what everybody automatically reaches. But like up in the north of Spain, it's very, very cold in the winter, like, and all the ski resorts. So it's definitely more for the north of Spain, I would say. But everywhere there's whiskey drinkers, you know.
yeah,
So I'm sure there's a good number of people now who'd love to do that.
yeah. Because we were actually looking to see if there was like a whiskey expo
Yeah.
that James and I could go over to, but there's not really. It's not
There's
like,
your opportunity now to do one.
oh, that would take about a year's planning and more energy than I have.
I see there the whiskey cruises and Irish whiskey auctions do a lot of stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like they're amazing. Like there's some planning and organizing goes into all of that.
yeah. I'm glad it's not me doing it.
Yeah, no, I've enough on my plate now at the minute as well. So the day job and then the kid. As I say, I've got two businesses, two kids, and a dog, and that's just enough for me right now.
Well, so, it sounds like a full plate.
Yeah, it is. But I love it. Like I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. And that's what I want the girls to, you know, if you have to achieve things like so it's not going to sit and fall on your lap and you have to go get it. So
Yeah.
here we are.
Well, this is it. Do you know, things aren't gonna be handed to you. You have to work for it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I think that is all of the questions I have for you.
All right, Lee. Well, look, it's an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for thinking of me and having me.
No
As I
problem at
say,
all.
I'm new on the scene, really, and it's been a pleasure, and you're a lovely host. So, and I want to wish you the best of luck because it's already made it. That's what you have to keep in your head between now and the
Yes.
next time we talk. And no, it was really pleasurable, and thank you so much. You're very kind.
No problem at all. Thank you very much for coming on, and hopefully, um, when this episode goes out, it can help in some way.
Oh, that'll
And
be
at
wonderful.
the end of the day, as I said, I'm only on the other side of the phone if you need anything. So
Thanks,
just
Lee.
give us a shout.
Appreciate that. Yeah,
But
definitely. I'll have you on speed dial.
okay, great.